Excellent work on the table settings, everyone. The drapery looks stunning.
Imagine standing before hundreds of guests, your pride shining brighter than the gold decorations around you, only to be humbled by a man you called worthless. Imagine mocking someone for their poverty, then being brought to your knees by the very hands you dismissed. Is it karma? Is it divine justice? Or is it a lesson we all need to learn? Sit back and find out as we dive into this powerful story of pride, humility, and redemption. The Okonkwo mansion was alive with activity. Workers rushed through the grand halls, carrying flowers, adjusting lights, and setting up tables covered in expensive white cloth. The air smelled of fresh roses and expensive perfume. This was no ordinary wedding. This was the wedding of Dama Lola Okonkwo, the eldest son of one of Lagos's wealthiest families. Everything had to be perfect. The decorations sparkled under the chandeliers. The guest list included governors, business moguls, and celebrities. Dama Lola walked through the venue, his designer suit crisp and spotless, inspecting every detail with sharp eyes. He stopped workers mid-task, pointing out the smallest flaws. That curtain is crooked. Fix it. Those flowers are not bright enough. Replace them. His voice carried authority, but also arrogance. He was a man who believed money could buy perfection, and he expected nothing less. His mother, Mrs. Okonkwo, approached him with a gentle smile. "Dami, everything looks beautiful. You need to relax." He turned to her, his expression firm. "Mother, this is my wedding. I will not settle for anything less than excellence. I want people to talk about this day for years." She nodded, patting his arm. "They will, my son. They will." But deep inside, she worried. Her son's pride had grown too large, and she feared it would one day be his downfall. His younger sister, Kioma, stood nearby, watching her brother with concern. She had always known Dama Lola to be proud, but lately his arrogance had reached new heights. She whispered to her mother, "He treats people like they are beneath him. One day, someone will teach him a lesson." Mrs. Okonkwo sighed. "I pray that day comes gently." Later that afternoon, a dusty old van pulled up to the mansion's back entrance. The engine coughed and sputtered before finally going silent. From the driver's seat stepped an elderly man, his hair gray and his clothes worn and faded. He carried a large woven basket in one hand and a wooden cooking spoon in the other. This was Baba Kelechi, a village chef known throughout his small town for his kindness and his food. He had traveled hours to get here, invited by the bride's mother, who remembered him from years ago. Baba Kelechi walked slowly toward the kitchen, his back slightly bent from age. As he entered through the back door, he greeted the workers with a warm smile. "Good afternoon, my children. God bless your work today." Some workers smiled back. Others stared at his ragged clothes and whispered among themselves. One of the senior caterers, a woman named Jana, approached him with a kind expression. "Baba, welcome. Mrs. Adayemi told us you were coming. She speaks very highly of you." Baba Kelechi smiled. "She is a good woman. I am honored to serve her daughter on this special day." Jana nodded. "Let me show you where you can work. We have prepared a space for you." At that moment, Dama Lola walked into the kitchen area to check on the catering arrangements. His eyes landed on Baba Kelechi, and he stopped dead in his tracks, his face twisted in disbelief. "Who is this?" he asked loudly, his voice cutting through the noise. The workers froze. Baba Kelechi turned, meeting the young man's gaze with calm, patient eyes. "Good afternoon, sir. I am Baba Kelechi. I was invited to prepare the food for your wedding." Dama Lola let out a sharp laugh, shaking his head. "You, a poor village cook for my wedding? Look at you. Your clothes are older than my car. Do you even know what real food tastes like?" The room went silent. Some workers looked down, uncomfortable. Others smirked, feeding off the groom's cruelty. Jana stepped forward nervously. "Sir, Baba Kelechi was personally recommended by your bride's mother," she said. Dama Lola cut her off with a wave of his hand. "I don't care who recommended him. Look at him. He looks like he just came from a farm." He turned back to Baba Kelechi, his voice dripping with contempt. "Have you ever cooked for important people? Have you ever served governors, businessmen, people who know what quality tastes like. Baba Kelechi's face did not change. He simply bowed his head slightly and spoke in a soft, respectful voice. Food prepared with a pure heart brings blessings, my son. I may be poor in wealth, but I am rich in love. Damilola scoffed. Love? I don't need love in my food. I need perfection. I need taste. I need something worthy of my guests. He waved his hand dismissively. But since you're already here, fine. Cook if you can. But don't embarrass me. If the food is not up to standard, you will leave immediately. Do you understand? Baba Kelechi nodded quietly. Yes, sir. Damilola turned and walked away, leaving Baba Kelechi standing in the middle of the kitchen. The old man closed his eyes for a moment, taking a deep breath. His hands trembled slightly, but not from fear, from pain. Jana placed a gentle hand on his shoulder. Baba, I am so sorry. Please don't mind him. He has always been like this. Baba Kelechi opened his eyes and smiled sadly. It is not his fault, my daughter. Pride is a heavy burden. It makes people blind. A few minutes later, the bride, Amara, entered the kitchen. She was beautiful, dressed in a simple gown, her face glowing with natural grace. But when she saw Baba Kelechi standing alone, his head bowed, her heart broke. Baba, she whispered, rushing to him. The old man looked up, and when he saw her, his eyes softened. Amara, my dear child. She took his hands in hers, tears filling her eyes. I'm so sorry. I didn't know he would treat you like this. Baba Kelechi smiled gently. It is not your fault. My daughter, pride blinds people, but it does not change who I am. Amara swallowed hard, remembering the past. Years ago, when she was just a little girl, her family had nothing. Her father had died, and her mother struggled to feed them. One day, weak and hungry, she had wandered into Baba Kelechi's small roadside kitchen. He had seen her, asked no questions, and given her a full plate of food. Eat, my child. He had said, no one should go hungry. He had fed her for free, many times, until her mother found work. She never forgot his kindness. Now, as a bride, in a wealthy family, she could not let him be treated this way. Baba, please don't leave, she begged. I know my husband spoke harshly, but please stay. Cook for me, not for him, for me. Baba Kelechi looked into her eyes and saw the little girl he once fed. He nodded slowly. For you, my daughter, I will cook with love. Amara hugged him tightly, tears streaming down her face. Thank you, Baba, thank you. As she pulled away, she whispered, my husband will learn. I promise you, he will learn. That night, while the mansion slept, Baba Kelechi worked. He moved, slowly but with purpose, his hands guided by decades of experience. He did not use fancy equipment or imported spices. He used what he knew best, tradition, patience, and heart. He lit a firewood stove outside, letting the flames rise steady and strong. He washed the rice by hand, feeling each grain between his fingers. He marinated the chicken in palm wine, ginger, and local herbs passed down from his grandmother. He grilled fish over open flames, wrapping them in banana leaves to lock in the flavor. He pounded yam with a mortar and pestle, his arms moving in rhythm, each strike releasing the starch. He stirred egusi soup with care, adding vegetables at just the right moment. Jana came outside around midnight, bringing him a cup of tea. Baba, you should rest. You have been working for hours. He smiled, wiping sweat from his forehead. When you cook with love, my daughter, you do not feel tired. You feel purpose. She watched him work, mesmerized by the care he put into every detail. Baba, can I ask you something? Of course, my child. Why are you doing this after the way he treated you? Why are you still here? Baba Kelechi paused, stirring the pot slowly. Because, my daughter, we do not treat people based on how they treat us. We treat them based on who we are, and I am a man who believes in kindness, even when it is not returned. Janet's eyes filled with tears. You are a good man, Baba. He chuckled softly. I am just an old man trying to do what is right. And as he cooked, he prayed, Lord, let this food carry more than taste. Let it carry truth. Let it humble the proud and bless the humble. Hours passed. The moon moved across the sky. Workers occasionally peeked outside, watching the old man work alone, and some felt ashamed for how he had been treated. One young worker, a boy named Tun, stood by the door, watching Baba Kalechi with wide eyes. He had never seen anyone cook with such care, such devotion. He walked over quietly. "Sir, can I help you?" Baba Kalechi looked up, surprised. "You want to help an old man?" Tun nodded. "Yes, sir. I want to learn." Baba Kalechi smiled warmly. "Then come, my son. Let me teach you." Together, they worked through the night. Baba Kalechi showed Tun how to season the meat, how to stir the soup without breaking the vegetables, how to taste and adjust with patience. "Cooking is not just about food, my boy," Baba Kalechi said. "It is about love. When you cook for someone, you are giving them a piece of your heart." Tun listened, absorbing every word. By dawn, the food was ready. The aroma drifted through the air, rich and warm like a memory of home. The wedding reception began in the afternoon. The hall was packed with guests dressed in expensive lace and gold jewelry. Photographers moved through the crowd, capturing every moment. A live band played upbeat music, and waiters served champagne in crystal glasses. Damilola sat at the head table, his bride beside him, looking every bit the king he believed himself to be. He smiled at his guests, shook hands, posed for pictures. He had forgotten all about the old chef. His best friend, Kunal, leaned over and whispered, "Dami, this wedding is incredible. You really outdid yourself." Damilola grinned. "Only the best, my brother. Only the best." Then the food arrived. Large trays were brought out by workers, and the moment they were uncovered, something shifted in the room. The smell hit first. Deep, smoky, rich. It wasn't the usual hotel catering smell. It was different. It was alive. Guests leaned forward, eyes widening. Conversations paused mid-sentence. Even the band seemed to play a little softer. On the table sat jollof rice cooked over firewood, each grain separate and perfectly spiced. Grilled fish wrapped in leaves, releasing steam when opened. Egusi soup served with hand-pounded fufu, smooth and thick. Palm wine-glazed chicken, golden and glistening. Fresh fruit platters decorated with hibiscus flowers. And in the center of the head table sat a small clay pot with a folded piece of paper. Tucked beside it, guests began to eat, and silence fell over the hall. Not an uncomfortable silence, a sacred one. Forks paused mid-air, mouths opened slightly in disbelief, eyes closed as flavors danced on tongues. One guest, a high-ranking politician, set down his fork and stared at his plate. This is incredible." A businesswoman beside him nodded, unable to speak. An older woman wiped a tear from her eye. "This tastes like my grandmother's cooking. Like home." A young woman turned to her husband, her voice shaking with emotion. "I have never tasted anything like this. It's like every bite tells a story." Kunal, Damilola's best friend, stopped eating and looked around. "Dami, who made this food? This is not normal catering. This is something else entirely." Even Damilola, who had been laughing with a friend, stopped. He took a bite of the jollof rice, and his expression froze. The flavor was unlike anything he had ever tasted. Rich, smoky, perfectly balanced. It wasn't just food. It was memory. It was love. It was everything he didn't know he was missing. He took another bite, then another. His hands moved faster. He couldn't stop. Around him, the hall buzzed with whispers. "Who made this? This is not ordinary catering. This is something else." Kioma, Damilola's sister, leaned over to Amara. "Sister, this food is beautiful. Who prepared it?" Amara smiled through tears. "Baba Kalechi, the man your brother insulted this morning." Kioma's face fell. "Oh no." Damilola's eyes fell on the clay pot at the center of the table. He reached for the folded paper beside it, his hands shaking slightly. He opened it and read the words written in simple, careful handwriting, to the couple. "May humility season your marriage more than salt ever can." His breath caught in his throat. The words hit him like a stone. He read them again and again. Around him, guests continued to eat, praising the food, asking who the chef was. But Damilola heard none of it. All he heard was his own voice from earlier that day. "A poor village cook for my wedding? Do you even know what real food tastes like?" Shame washed over him like a wave. His chest tightened. His throat burned. He looked at Amara, and she was crying softly, her hands covering her mouth. "Amara," he whispered, "who made this food?" She looked at him, tears streaming down her face. "Baba Kelechi, the man you mocked, the man who fed me when I had nothing, the man who worked all night to bless our wedding." Damilola's hands trembled. He stood up suddenly, his chair scraping against the floor. The hall quieted. All eyes turned to him. He looked around, his face pale, his pride crumbling before everyone. "Where is he?" His voice cracked. "Where is the chef?" A worker stepped forward nervously. "He's outside, sir, cleaning up." Without another word, Damilola walked out of the hall. Guests whispered, confused. Amara followed him, her heart racing. Kunal stood up too. "I'm coming with you." Kioma grabbed her mother's hand. "Mama, he's finally learning." Outside, near the firewood stove, Baba Kelechi was packing his tools into his old basket. His back was turned, his movements slow and tired. Young Tun stood beside him, helping him clean. Damilola stopped a few feet away, staring at the old man. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then, slowly, he walked forward. Baba Kelechi turned, surprised to see the groom standing there. "Sir, is something wrong with the food?" Damilola's lips trembled. He shook his head. "No, the food." His voice broke. "The food is perfect." He took a step closer, his eyes red. "I judged you by your clothes. I mocked you in front of everyone. I treated you like you were nothing." His voice cracked. "But your heart is richer than mine will ever be." Kunal, standing behind, watched in shock. He had never seen his proud friend like this. And then, in front of his bride, in front of the workers who had gathered, Damilola dropped to his knees. The proud groom, dressed in his expensive suit, knelt before the poor village chef. "Please," he whispered, his head bowed. "Forgive me," the workers gasped. Amara covered her mouth, tears streaming down her face. Tun's eyes filled with tears. Baba Kelechi stood still, looking down at the young man kneeling before him. Slowly, gently, he reached down and placed his weathered hand on Damilola's head. "A man is not measured by wealth, my son. A man is measured by kindness. And today, you have learned something more valuable than gold." He helped Damilola to his feet. His eyes filled with warmth. "I forgive you." Damilola broke down, his shoulders shaking. He hugged the old man tightly, no longer caring who saw. Amara joined them, wrapping her arms around both men, and for the first time that day, the bride and groom felt something they hadn't felt before. Peace. Kunal wiped his eyes, stepping forward. "Baba, I am sorry too. I laughed when he mocked you. I was wrong." Baba Kelechi smiled. "You have learned, my son. That is what matters." Kioma came running out, followed by Mrs. Okonkwo. When Kioma saw her brother kneeling, she began to cry. "Dami, I am proud of you." Mrs. Okonkwo embraced Baba Kelechi. Thank you for teaching my son what I could not." When they returned to the reception hall, Damilola stood before his guests, his face serious. "I need to say something." The hall quieted. He gestured toward Baba Kelechi, who stood at the entrance hesitant. "This man, Baba Kelechi, made the food you have all been praising. And earlier today, I insulted him. I judged him. I treated him like he was beneath me." Guests shifted uncomfortably. "But his food, his heart, his humility, they have taught me something I should have learned long ago. That pride is poison, and kindness is the true measure of a man." He turned to Baba Kelechi. "Please, come, sit with us." Not as a worker, as an honored guest. The old man hesitated, but Amara walked over, took his hand, and led him to the head table. The guests rose to their feet, applauding. Some wiped tears from their eyes. The politician who had praised the food earlier stood up. "Sir, I have eaten in the finest restaurants around the world, but nothing compares to what you prepared today. You are a master." Baba Kelechi, the poor village chef, sat beside the bride and groom. Tears in his eyes, Tun stood nearby, beaming with pride. The celebration continued, but now it carried a different energy. It was no longer just about wealth and status. It was about love, humility, and second chances. After the wedding, Damilola's father, Chief Okonkwo, approached Baba Kalechi privately. "Sir, I have heard your story. I have tasted your food, and I have seen the lesson you taught my son." He paused. "I want to help you open a restaurant. A proper one. Let me sponsor it." Baba Kalechi's eyes widened. "Sir, I don't know what to say." Chief Okonkwo smiled. "Say yes. Let your gift reach more people. Let your kindness spread." Baba Kalechi looked at Tund, who stood beside him. "Can I bring my apprentice?" Chief Okonkwo laughed. "Of course. Every master needs a student." And so, months later, Baba Kalechi's restaurant opened in the heart of Lagos. It was small but beautiful, filled with the aroma of firewood and tradition. The sign outside read, "Baba Kalechi's Kitchen, where love is the secret ingredient." People came from all over to taste his food. And on the opening day, Damilola and Amara stood beside him, cutting the ribbon together. Damilola had changed. He now volunteered at shelters, feeding the homeless. He treated workers with respect. He had learned that wealth without kindness was empty. One evening, a poor woman came to the restaurant with her 2 children. She had no money. Baba Kalechi smiled, recognizing the look in her eyes. "Sit, my daughter. No one goes hungry here." He served her a full meal, just as he had done for young Amara years ago. Damilola, who was visiting, watched from across the room. He walked over and sat beside the woman. "Please, let me pay for your meal. And if you need work, come to my office tomorrow." The woman's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you, sir. God bless you." As Damilola stood, Baba Kalechi placed a hand on his shoulder. "You have become the man I knew you could be." Damilola smiled, "Because you showed me the way." As the sun set that evening, Damilola stood beside Baba Kalechi, watching families eat and laugh inside the restaurant. "Thank you," Damilola said quietly, "for not walking away, for teaching me." Baba Kalechi smiled. "I did not teach you, my son. Life did. I was just the messenger." Damilola nodded, his heart full. He had learned the hardest lesson of all, that pride builds walls, but kindness builds bridges. And sometimes, the poorest man carries the richest heart. Tund approached them, now wearing a chef's uniform, his face glowing with purpose. "Baba, the next batch is ready." Baba Kalechi nodded. "Good, my son. Remember, cook with love." As they walked back inside, Amara joined her husband, slipping her hand into his. "I'm proud of you," she whispered. He kissed her forehead. "I'm proud of us." Life is full of lessons we never expect. Sometimes they come from the people we overlook, the ones we think have nothing to offer. Damilola learned that true wealth is not in what you own, but in how you treat others. And Baba Kalechi showed the world that a pure heart and humble hands can change lives. Pride may shine for a moment, but kindness lasts forever. What do you think about this story? Share your thoughts in the comments. I would love to read from you. And guess what? A brand new exciting story is coming your way in just a few days. So, if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when I upload it. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your friends. Thank you so much for your support and see you in the next